And good morning. I'm texting somebody trying to get some other guys on the show here so we can have a sham battle. It's morning coffee and sports betting with me, Bob, from OddsJam, and Tony, the golf guru of all time. By the way, I had me a good tournament too. It was a good one. Actually laid down a free bet on Keith Mitchell to make top 20, so that helped. Turning that into money. By the way, if you want to know how to get those picks, and we have daily picks, along with our Golf Gurus picks, there is a link below in the description of this video. Link below, and it is a 14-day free trial. Go there now, man. Get on board with the Golf Gurus and the Sports Nuts place. 2 different packages. Get in there now. All right? And OddsJam Partner Program, just remind you about that. Link below in the description. 50% revenue share. Get in there right now. Now, here's what we're going to do. As Tony always tells me when he's in the chat, Bob, it's time to crank it up. Let's go. Let's go.
Is that the crooked stick?
You bet.
Oh, we're making money today, baby.
Let's make some friggin' money. Well, I had that sucker cranked up. Yeah. All right. Tony, good to see you, my friend. The folks, Tony and I communicate all the time, but we hardly ever see each other or hardly ever actually talk to each other. We just text constantly. So that's how we get our picks to you guys. All right. Good morning, Steven. And Showtime, grab that coffee. Let's talk some sports. Absolutely. Edmonton got it done. Will we see McDavid lift Lord Stanley or fall short? To Kachuk and the boys, looking forward to a good series. Could be a really good series. I don't know how you get past Kachuk and Bobrovsky. Bob is playing very well. Bob beats Shesterkin. He's the best goaltender going right now. But Springer came to life in the last game. Yes, Scotty Crowell is with us here, too. Sorry to hear about your T-Wolf, Scotty. Really disappointing. Disappointing. All right. Tony's got all kinds of stuff to talk about, including college baseball, folks. So I can guarantee you one thing right now. Stephen Batza is going to be on every last word that you say, Tony. Tell us about what you think about college baseball.
Well, I think it's the greatest sport in the world. I mean, not a lot of people know about it. ESPN's kind of just getting with the program. If you check their app during the regular season, their scores are never right. They never have any stats. But now during the postseason, all the games are on ESPN Plus. They throw them on ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, and it's one of the best postseason tournaments that there is. The way that it works is right now we're in the regionals. So it's a double elimination format, and you need to win that to move to the super regionals, which is the final 16, kind of like the Sweet 16. And then the Elite 8 is the College World Series in Omaha. So the final 8 teams go to Omaha, which is kind of what baseball fans in general will start watching when it gets down to the 8. But we've got some really good teams right now. We're down to the last day of the regionals. So these are all the game 7s from this weekend. So these are all do or dies today. So the team that wins moves on to the Sweet 16 and the Super Regionals, and the team that loses, their season's over today.
So let me ask you a question. How do they call them game 7s? Or why do they?
Because it is the 7th game of the weekend. Because if they play the schedule is all mixed up. But if you look at the schedule, this is the 7th game in each regional this weekend. So like total games. So for example, at the 12 o'clock start in about an hour, 12 o'clock on the East Coast, East Carolina plays Evansville in the Greenville regional. And East Carolina and Evansville both already have a loss, and they've already played 3 games each. So this is the game 7.
Kind of happened with Illinois and Indiana State. Illinois beat Indiana State, and then Indiana State comes back and beats Illinois, and they're 1-1. It's weird how that format works.
Yeah, so in that regional, let me pull it up real quick. I'm on my phone here. So in that regional, Kentucky has already won it because that was the Lexington regional. So since Indiana State and Illinois both ended up losing twice over the last couple days, Kentucky never lost. Kentucky beat Indiana State last night. And if Indiana State would have beaten Kentucky, that would have been a game 7 today because both of the teams would have had 1 loss. But since Kentucky gave Indiana State their 2nd loss last night, Kentucky automatically moves on. And we've already got, I think, 10 or 11 of the super regionals set up. We've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with a possible 6th game 7 today because there was a rain delay yesterday. So they're continuing a game today.
Okay.
So there might have to be a doubleheader in the Corvallis regional with Oregon State and UC Irvine.
So I followed your Southern Miss pick. I tailed that.
Yeah, they won by about 20.
Yeah, that was a real easy moneymaker. Only got it at -140 at the time, but still a moneymaker nonetheless. Do you have anything out here right now, a free play that you're going to put on X? Have you already put one out there?
Yeah, I actually haven't put anything out yet because with college baseball, it's almost the opposite of every other sport. You want to wait till almost the games start and see where all these lines move because it's such a niche market. The pitchers get announced really late. A lot of other people just jump on the names, so they might not even know a better team. Like, for example, at 6 o'clock today, North Carolina plays LSU in a game 7. North Carolina is a top 5 team in the country, but LSU is almost even money just because pretty much of the name. But I'm going to be on North Carolina in that game. I think they're a way better baseball team. LSU does have a good pitcher going today. But if you get him out of the game early, bullpens in college baseball are wild. So I do like North Carolina today in their Chapel Hill Regional at home to move on. Let's see what else. We've got Oklahoma State and Florida at 3 o'clock. Oklahoma State's another top team in the country. Florida's had a pretty bad year up to their standards. Oklahoma State, you can still get them at -180 when they're past 200 in a lot of other books. So I would take that -180. I don't like laying run lines in college baseball NCAA tournament games just because these games can be so close. But I wouldn't really ever go over a -180 money line on anything in general on a single pick. So I do like those single picks. I like North Carolina and Oklahoma State on the money line. And then if you want to throw in a money line, Stevie Batza parlay for the day, I like East Carolina and Oklahoma. They're both, I think, around -250 or maybe even higher. But both of them are much better teams than Evansville and UConn. So I'll take East Carolina, Oklahoma State, North Carolina, and Oklahoma in the 4 games that are set. And then Oregon State's up 6-4 in the 7th against UC Irvine right now in that game that got canceled. So if Oregon State wins, that series will be over. But if UC Irvine somehow comes back to win, I'll take Oregon State again on the money line in a game 7 because they're at home in the Corvallis Regional. So if somehow they do blow a 2-run lead, I'll still take them. So those are my 5 picks for the 5 games today.
Now, where in the hell are you going to go and find college baseball like you can right here? Nowhere are you going to find it anywhere, folks. And, you know, they're going to be in the picks too. So get on the picks. Get on them right now. Link is below in the description. get on the picks with us. All right. For some reason, I'm frozen. There we go. The picks, 14-day free trial. Do it. Now, one thing I forgot to do, I got to do this real quick because it's a big, big number for morning coffee. All right, hang on. We put that in there, and this will be 37.3. We have now reached the high water mark in morning coffee picks, Tony. We hit the 1100 mark in wins, 1100, 965, and 36. We're up 137.3 units. That is the highest we've ever been. So we're creeping up to 140 units up. Pretty proud of that. We've done very, very well. And we went 6 and 7 the other day. All 13 of those plays were positive EV. Now, I know where you're at with this NBA series. You already know, and I'm with you. If the Celtics lose this series, how bad would it tarnish Jason Tatum's image?
Why does that have to be the first question? The Celtics are minus 210 favorites, so yes, they should win. Yes, they were the best team in the NBA all season. But I don't understand why all the talk is about Jason Tatum and how he's not good enough. And I mean, he's been a first team All NBA 3 years in a row. If they do lose this year, yes, it would be a disappointment, but he's 26 or 27 years old. So he'll probably be back about 5 or 6 more times in his career. So I don't expect them to lose, like the sportsbook don't either. But if Luka Doncic happens to do something crazy, which he is capable of doing, it would just be a bad season. I don't think it would tarnish a legacy when he hasn't even won anything yet, and he's still pretty young. But it would pretty much mean that the best team in the NBA all year didn't win the title, which has happened plenty of times.
Well, the reason that I bring it up, I'm a St. Louis guy, dude. You know, I'm from St. Louis. So Jason Tatum is a St. Louis boy.
Yeah, but what is his legacy? You ask if it'll tarnish his legacy. I think his legacy right now is a pretty good young scorer, top 5-10 player in the NBA. I don't think that changes if he loses. I just think that they would have blown a very good opportunity.
A lot of Tatum haters out there, bro. I'm telling you.
And I'm not sure why.
Yeah, I don't either.
Seems like a great guy. Seems like a great father. All he does is score points and win games. I mean, he's coming up on He's going to pass Kobe for the most playoff points at his age or younger if he scores like 90 more points, which he will. I don't understand the hate. I mean, just because he has a good running mate in Jaylen Brown, I would never compare them skill-wise to Jordan and Pippen, but it's somewhat like you have a player who's the better player, but someone who's better on defense, but can also score on offense. And I feel like right now, Jaylen Brown's getting a lot more love than a guy like Jason Tatum is.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I love JB. I love JB too, though.
I like Jason. I like Jason Tatum a lot. The reason that I asked that is that's all I hear.
Yeah,
you know, he ain't won nothing. He ain't won nothing.
But they were way ahead of schedule when they made the Eastern Conference Finals 5 or 6 years ago. They were in year 2 of their rebuild. I mean, they weren't supposed to be there. And then playing against the Warriors, you knew that wasn't going to happen. So I mean, this is really his first shot where he's the favorite. So if he loses, he just lost his first opportunity as a favorite. I don't think he's blown anything yet in his career like a loser has.
Right. No, hey, I'm with you 199%.
But I do think Luka can win 1 or 2 games by himself. I think the Celtics will win in 5 or 6. But I do think Luka. I mean, we'll double Luka and Kyrie, one or the other, and make one of us beat him. I don't think Kyrie can win a game by himself, but Luka could definitely win a game or two. So I don't think the Celtics will sweep by any means, but I don't think they'll blow having the best year they've had since 2008.
Kyrie's got a little revenge factor there. You never know how
there is no revenge when we didn't want him. That's not called revenge.
I don't care what you say.
If it's revenge, it's on the Celtics side, not Kyrie's side. He left. That's not revenge. He's
mind,
a bum.
Oh, in his mind, it's revenge.
In his mind, the earth is flat, so nobody cares what he thinks.
All right, man. Throw that out there. You got a dissing Kyrie now.
Boston's most hated. Give us a villain for the next couple weeks, and we love it.
All right, let me get to positive EV here. I've got some plays on here that I'm interested in. First one I want to look at, Zach Wheeler, over 7.5 strikeouts. I'm going to take that for a morning coffee pick. That's kind of a no-brainer right there.
Yeah, if you're getting value on a Zach Wheeler case, you got to take that.
Yeah, you got to take it for sure. Bryson Stott. Boy, talk about a guy that I didn't think was going to be a great ball player. He's turned into quite the ball player. Over 1.5 player bases. I will nail that for a morning coffee pick.
Bryson Stott was actually a pretty high draft pick. It just took him a little while to get it together, but he's had a great last about month and a half. He had a rough start to the year, but yeah, he's on fire right now.
Yeah, definitely. What do you think about an over for the Rockies, the Rockies against the Reds, or an over for the Reds against the Rockies? 6.5.
Oh yeah, I mean, in any stadium, in either stadium, the Reds and the Rockies are two of the best ballparks for scoring runs. So I'm not much of a total guy in general. I'd much rather pick a team and die with them on the spread or the money line on either side. But if you're getting value on an over in Colorado or Cincinnati, take that.
And then I'm going to take Nolan Arenado, who is, slowly but surely, he's not showing any power, but he's hitting the ball. And I will take that over 1.5 player bases there. Also, Andrew Abbott over 15.5 player outs. Do we like that or not? The Reds, Rockies, 15.5 outs means he's got to get one out in the 6th inning. I'm going to take it for a morning coffee pick.
Yeah, Andrew Abbott, another good young pitcher, stud out of Virginia, talking about college baseball. But he's had a rough start to the year again, but he's come around recently as well. So again, against a rough lineup like Colorado, if you're getting value, let's take him.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Sounds good there. What do you think about the Blue Jays so far? The kind of an enigmatic team. I expected more out of them, not getting, and of course your Rays are struggling like crazy. What's going on with Randy Arozarena, man? Come on.
Well, to answer your first question, the Blue Jays young core just hasn't ever gotten it together. I mean, for the last 3 or 4 years, it seemed like they were going to be the future in the AL East, and instead Baltimore's taken that over with their young prospects instead of Toronto's. So Toronto, I think, is done, and they missed their window. And I think the Rays, unfortunately, don't have much of a window this year either, with the way that their stars are playing and with their injuries and their pitching staff. So with Randy, the decision right now is, do you try to trade him at his lowest point before you don't get him for anything at the end of the year? Or do you think he somehow gets it together and you can make a playoff run in the wild card at the end of this year? So the Rays have a big decision to make with Randy because they're not going to pay him 150, 180 million like he's going to ask for in the offseason. So do you kind of try to get rid of him before the deadline just to get something? Or do you think, I mean, if they do that, the amount of fans that are at the games now, they'll all be gone, even though there's not much anyway. But it's a tough decision when your most popular player, free agent to be, is struggling the way he is. So unfortunately, the Rays and the Blue Jays will be at the bottom of the AL East for the rest of this year, it seems like.
Crazy, man. Didn't expect to hear that. Let me get back to some positive EV plays. Got a few more. I'm doing main and alternate markets now. There's that Reds play at over 6.5. What do you think about Rybakina minus 4.5 game spread between her and Paolina? Lini, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Paolini.
the French Open's been awesome, and I've been all over the OddsJam Positive EV page on the pick. So if OddsJam says take a tennis play, they've been rolling on the French Open. So I do try. I don't watch every single tennis play, but if you're getting value on a game spread, those lines do tend to move pretty quickly. So if you do see a high percentage play in tennis, even a half game line like that could move from 4.5 to 5.5 in less than 10-15 minutes.
Tigers minus a half a run against the Rangers first half run line.
Yes.
Okay.
Scooble's on the mound, AL Cy Young leader, I would say.
Yeah.
Love that pick.
I love him, man. He is.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yes, he is. Let me go to the bet tracker. Let's go through what we're on today. All right. So we've got Zach Wheeler over 7.5 strikeouts, Bryson Stott over 1.5 player bases, the Reds over 6.5 total runs, Arenado over 1.5 player bases, Andrew Abbott over 15.5 player outs, Alina Rybakina minus 4.5 game spread between her and Jasmine Paolini. Hey, I got it that time. And
how do you know you got it?
Because I'm Italian, you know. Forget about
it. Forget about
it. Tigers minus a half on the first half run line against the Rangers. Speaking of Rangers, Adolis is starting to heat up. Hit another home run. I don't think you're going to keep that stud down. He's
yeah. I mean, now that we're in June, I mean, after April, you give everybody a break. But now that it's June, it's time to turn things on. And in the next 2 weeks, in the middle of June, if your team's not in it and if your player's still having a crappy season, it's time to start looking in other directions because you've already blown 2.5 months of your season. So we're not playing around anymore. Now that it's coming to June, I mean, the dog days of summer are not even here yet. They still got to start playing for something here.
Okay, let's go back to college baseball here real quick, and let's go through what you're on. You're talking about North Carolina, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. So if you want to get them in order, that East Carolina game starts in 30 minutes. So you'll put together an East Carolina and Oklahoma parlay.
Okay.
And then at 3:00, Oklahoma State money line by itself. It's a big number, minus 180. So if you're comfortable laying it, lay it. I wouldn't lay a run line. So if you want to stay away from that, that's fine. But minus 180 on Oklahoma State at 3. And then at 6:00, you've got North Carolina on the money line against LSU. And then that Oklahoma game's at 9:00, but we're already on that in the money line parlay with East Carolina. And then if Oregon State somehow blows this game that's in continuation this afternoon, take Oregon State at 9 or 10 p.m. tonight on the money line against UC Irvine in a Game 7.
Okay. So I'm going to put together an East Carolina, Oklahoma parlay and an Oklahoma State and North Carolina parlay, right?
Sure.
Let's do it. Let's go up here, share my screen again, and let's see if we could find.
So that's what you would do in general if you're betting parlays, guys. You would put the biggest numbers together. Like East Carolina and Oklahoma are going to be in the minus 200s or 300s at this point. And then North Carolina is closer to 100, and Oklahoma State should still be in the hundreds.
Okay, East Carolina.
And the Sooners.
And Oklahoma. All right, so let's see what we got here. We have, well, we made it to plus 101.
Take so that.
Yeah. Let's hit that. And then let me clear out this parlay. This is how you do put together GM software. We're going to go to Oklahoma State. We'll take them on the money line, and we will take
the Tar Heels,
North Carolina on the money line, which will put us at plus 145 on DraftKings. So there you go.
As well.
Couple of college baseball 2-leg parlays, both at plus money to win you money, make you money. Love it. Beautiful. Now, so we know that we're on the Celtics, and the reason why I'm going through all this stuff because I don't know when you're going to be coming back, because you're so busy. I mean, you're a star now. It's hard to.
Hey, forget about
it. Hard to keep up with it. Big problem that I have with the finals in both the NBA and the NHL is there's way too much time between. I mean, I know if they were 7-game series, it'd be one story, but NBA's not starting up till Thursday. NHL's not starting up till Saturday. Really changes momentum, especially in hockey. Momentum is such a big part of hockey. I don't like these delays. What do you think?
Yeah, unfortunately, logistically, it just has to happen. I mean, I work in stadiums, and stadiums have concerts that they plan a year or two in advance, and they plan these series with an open dates years and stuff in advance. So you kind of have to just expect games to go, series to go 6 and 7, and you can't really change any dates because they do keep stadium dates open for this specific reason. And plan other things around it a long time in advance. So it does kind of stink for the players, but just logistically, planning-wise, it has to be this way.
Okay, gotcha.
But
I guess that makes sense.
I do like the Panthers as well. I know we haven't really talked about it in the NHL, and I saw them as low. I only looked at DK right before I jumped on the show, but I saw them at minus 130. And the Celtics at minus 210. I don't know if they let you parlay that in any book, but if you can parlay a Celtics and a Panthers, I'm sure you can. Championship with whatever book you're on. I like those two teams. If I don't see you in the next few games in either series, I do like those two teams to take it home if those odds get worse.
So I see ESPN Bet has the Panthers at minus 130, and Bet Rivers has them at minus 132. And I'm getting ready to check to see if there's a mistake here because it's showing Caesars at having them at plus 900.
Oh, that's got to be pre-playoffs.
I don't know. These others are up to date.
What are the other Caesars options?
Yeah,
they should only give you the Panthers or the Oilers in an option.
Yeah, this is.
And if not, put $1,000 on that right
now. Yeah, no shit.
Plus 900. Yeah,
there we go.
I'll send you all the money I got in my
these
bank
are all,
account.
Actually, what's happened here is DraftKings and Caesars and Circa we've not gotten their updated information. We have
DraftKings is at minus 130. You have to go to the top and scroll over to team futures.
Caesars is at minus 135. So that's all.
Take that minus 130 where you get it.
Right. ESPN Bet has it at minus 130 also. So DraftKings, ESPN Bet. If you're on the Panthers, which I'm on the Panthers, Matthew
and parlay that with the Celtics. Parlay that series. Ride both of them. Have a nice little winner in both. Do a little futures parlay.
Yeah, that'd be all right. We should do that. Definitely. All right. I can do that.
Because I mean, you wouldn't really put minus 210 on the Celtics, but if they win game 1 and game 2 in a row, that's just going to get to -4, -500. So if you parlay Celtics minus 210 with the Panthers minus 130. That's a nice little hit at the end.
Oh, hell yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it. And let's talk about what we got coming up in golf. All right. We've got a live tournament in Houston this week.
Yep.
We also have the Memorial, correct?
Yep. Hovland won last year.
So pretty big, couple of big tournaments coming up. And we have a big opportunity to make some money. One of the reasons why we made money this weekend, folks, is plain and simple. Out of 8 outrights, we got 4 of them right. And they're all plus money.
Top 20s.
Top 20s, I'm sorry. And let's not forget the 2 top 10s.
Yep, and we got Rory at top 5, and we put a full unit on that one.
Right.
So you need to follow our unit allocations, because depending on what the golfer's odds are, we're either going to put a quarter, half, 3/4 of a unit, or a full unit on each pick.
The only way you're going to get those allocations, as he likes to call them.
What do you call them?
Bets.
Bet sizes?
I guess.
I guess I just have a bigger vocabulary than you.
No shit. Really? I think I'm going to mute your ass on that one. No. I'm just saying right now that you got to follow them. The only way you're going to find them is in the picks, the links below in the description. We're talking a 14-day free trial. So right now, if you start this week, you're going to get 2 tournaments this week, and next week you'll get 1. That's 3 tournaments for free. And if you're winning, if we make you money out of those 2 tournaments, you got to jump on board, because we are up over 51 units right now.
And we've got a couple guys that have been with us since the beginning.
Yes.
So they're up over 50 units as well.
Exactly. That's if you're betting every single play. Okay. We've only had 1 tournament, and we actually have had a tournament that we got shut out.
Well, no, 0 for 20.
Yeah, I was shocked that we were. And you know how we do it is, this is pretty well for the PGA. We've been doing a half dozen outrights, 2 top 5s, 4 top 10s, and 8 top 20s.
20 totals, yep.
Yes. Huge opportunity to make money. And there's not a lot of people out there giving golf picks. Week in and week out, we've been doing this. Now we're going to be going on 2 years of doing this. And I'm telling you, folks, this is how you make money. There is money to be made in golf. At the end of the day yesterday, I had a bad weekend betting. I really didn't have a good weekend betting. But then the golf came in. Boy, it just kind of.
I saw that too. I looked at my account on one of my apps last night, and I was like, "Holy shit! All those top 20s came through."
I know. I know. It's great. It's great.
Because that money is just pending from Thursday to Sunday, so you forget about it. And then when you have a few $100 come in on some top 20s on Sunday, you're like, hell yeah.
And then, you know, by the way, the Live tour has been good to us too.
That's honestly easier to pick in my decision because of the amount of good golfers. And you still get very good odds on some of these finishing positions.
Except we can't figure out what the hell John Rahm's doing half the time.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I'm confused with him. I really am. All right, I want to share my screen because I want to show you something that if you have a 14-day free trial, if you subscribe, we actually have tracking sheets like this. Here's our total year-to-date units, 51.641 units. All of these plays are tracked. And here is last week's. So if you look here, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There were only 7 wins.
Yeah, we went 7 and 13, up 3.7 units, I believe, with a 26% ROI.
Right. That's huge, folks. That's how you do it. Okay. You got to do the unit allocation. Okay. Unit amount.
Bet sizes.
Whatever you want to call it. All right. And we wind up with some great opportunities to make money. I expect this week, I don't know about you, I'm just going to say this right now. Look for Bryson DeChambeau this week to do something. Okay, I think that he got energized from playing in the PGA, and it was a great tournament. I'm not a big DeChambeau guy, but how he handled the crowd and how the crowd pumped him up, I'd like to see Bryson DeChambeau back on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I haven't run any models yet for those who want to know about our golf picks. All of mine are straight data driven. I subscribe to a site that lets me put in a bunch of different stats for golf and a bunch of data for golf. And I follow the course history and the course and the weather and the players and all that. And I throw that all into a bunch of different models. And I run about 5 to 8 models every week. And then I pick a consensus top 10 to top 20 and send that to Bob every week. And he sends me his picks, and that's how we choose. So if Bob likes Bryson and if he pops up on a few of my models, we'll definitely be taking him this week.
And we usually, that's what happens. A lot of the picks that I'm making are showing up on his models. I'm throwing that out there for discussion real quick. Bryson could be ready to elevate. I mean, I really believe that he could.
Honestly, off the top of my head, I don't know how he's played there in the past or how the greens are and the fairways are running and stuff like that. So I really do sit down for a few hours every week and run models. So I haven't looked yet at all this week because I've been so locked into college baseball this weekend. But tomorrow night, I'll sit down and run all of them, and I wouldn't be surprised if I see Bryson on a few of them because your guys the last few weeks have been a few of my guys at the top as well.
Right. He's just one. The thing is when you're picking live golf, you almost have to pick round because at some point in time, he just doesn't seem like. I think this whole live thing's got him all screwed up. I mean, I think he's more
golf's a mental game as well.
Yeah, I think he's more cut out for 72 holes, man, than the PGA and wearing pants. I'm just saying, All right, we've got Florida, we've got Boston, we've got Oklahoma State, North Carolina, Oklahoma, East Carolina. We've got all kinds of picks out here. Once again, don't forget about the golf picks, the golf gurus, and our daily picks also, which the daily picks are not doing too bad either, even though yesterday we went 2 and 3. But that's just the way it goes. We're not going to hit all the time on those. We are up 11 units.
That's
so far.
Pretty great for putting out 5 to 10 picks every single day.
Every single day, exactly. And Mike has already got a couple of nerfies in our picks right now. I'll be putting my picks in soon. Nerfies are a great way to make money. Great way to make money. 6 outs, and it's all yours. Just like Tony. Tony does a lot of first 5 or first half run lines. Don't forget those either. Tony, thanks for joining me here today, bro. This was
Thanks
fun.
for having me, bro.
Miss you. I really do. I miss you, man. You got to get on.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to catch each other more often. I'll try to text you. I mean, it won't be at the same time every day,
figure out.
Jump on.
We got to figure out what to do with spaces.
Yeah.
We got to figure that out. It's going to be huge for the future because you're looking at 2 of the guys that can pick golf like nobody else right here, baby. No problem, Jake. Let's get it, man. East Carolina, Oklahoma.
Parlay first.
Oklahoma State, North Carolina parlay. Put that in. Thank you, Steven, Scotty Crowell. Let's friggin' make some money. See you later tonight with Justin.